Hey guys, Eric and Roth here. We just got out of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel at New York Comic Con, but you're seeing this after the S.H.I.E.L.D. episode is aired.
Yes.
So full spoilers, you've watched it, right? This was episode I thought was a lighter one than the last couple. The show's come back with a darker tone. What did you think?
I liked it. I mean, I feel like they're really nailing sort of the Whedon tone that we unfairly or not expected from this series.
Yeah.
Where it is a little bit snarky and sardonic, and it is a little bit lighter and more funny. And they're sort of playing with themselves and making fun of themselves as the characters that they are. I liked the interplay. I liked the interaction, but it also did have those heartstring tugging moments with Fitz, particularly in this episode.
Fitz, and then
then at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't even with Coulson. It wasn't mostly playing too emotional, but just going as far as like him being like, "You have to kill me if this goes too far," and sort of the back and forth with May. I thought was well done.
I thought it was well done too because I bought it. I mean, those are sort of stakes that you need to earn. And I think that establishing his character over the course of the series, but also the films as well a little bit, getting an introduction to him, he does seem like this guy. He understands like he's not going to allow himself to be a ticking time bomb,
Yeah. And then I thought I was so happy that the Talbot is Hydra thing wasn't real, only because I thought, I don't know if you can logic that.
Yeah.
Like, what Talbot's actions at the end of last season, he's a jerk, but to be like, oh no, he's actually Hydra, it seemed too much, so I was very happy. And by the way, one thing I'm really glad about this season is that, early season 1, they kept having to really directly mention the things they were referencing in Marvel and the other movies. Here, they use the same tech that in Winter Soldier, Black Widow used.
Yeah.
But they don't say, Romanoff used this and that op at, when Hydra, It just was like, oh, we saw that in Winter Soldier. It exists in Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
So,
and now you're seeing it again. And I think that's like a fun nod to fans, and also like it's a cool piece of tech. Why not use it again?
Right. Yeah. Why wouldn't you use that? That's the only thing of like, why doesn't everyone use that all the time? I also like that this episode. We talked about the early episodes.
Maybe it's really cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. You gotta save money even if you're Hydra. I did like how this episode also, even though there wasn't a big new supervillain of the week, they still didn't hold back on effects, particularly when it came to May versus herself.
Right.
Because the easy thing to do would be have Agent 33 just go back to being herself. But they really wanted to stick with Ming-Na Wen versus Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And more importantly, I think it was the best fight they've done on the show. Like choreography, like the things that she does at the end.
Hands down.
That
awesome.
is
the best fight.
Yeah.
I mean, as it was going along, I'm like, this is a really cool concept, but then it really paid off as a great fight. I love really cool hand-to-hand fight sequences.
Yeah.
And that last move, I will say there were a couple of points where I was like, I see your wig, stunt fighter.
Yeah.
But that aside, that last leap over the table.
The twist back and the face slam.
Face slam. Made the episode.
It did, and we saw it. It was great to see it here at New York Comic Con with a crowd of big fans.
Yeah,
everyone went freaking crazy.
They did, and they were loving the humor too. You know, which helps you sort of. It feeds your enjoyment as well.
Yeah. And then the ending, even though it's funny to say this episode was not self-contained and that it did have a lot of tidbits about the drawings and stuff, but it seemed a little more self-contained. But then the ending with Raina, a lot of the times last year, the clips at the end would be stuff we'll deal with later, but it's literally a ticking time bomb that the next episode will have to deal with.
It's going to have to pick up right there, which I'm thinking and hoping is going to bring Kyle MacLachlan more front and center into this picture, because she's going to have to go and deal with him to get it back, or she's going to die.
I think the next episode will be our real getting to know that character.
Yes.
They're calling the Doctor, but we'll see.
Scary, scary, scary Doctor.
Bloodhand Doctor. This episode I thought wasn't as strong as the last couple, but that actually made me happy, oddly, in that it's like, if this is what their weaker episodes are this season, that's all just relative. It was still a really fun episode,
I thought it was. I think that certain moments actually paid off really well. I mean, the fight scene for me paid off really well, but I also think that moment with Fitz when she disappears, I feel like I felt that in a really profound way, as much as you can watching a TV show, it was earned. They built it up over the season in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And her disappearing felt like a very positive, healthy move for him, but also very sad.
It was, and it played almost oddly emotionally because she's still on the show.
Yeah.
We know she hasn't really betrayed them. We know she'll be back on the team at some point. That being said, it was impressive that it played as a big moment, because it was important to Fitz. So that's what we thought of this week's S.H.I.E.L.D. What'd you think? What do you think of the season so far in general? For plenty more on S.H.I.E.L.D. and Marvel, keep it here at IGN.